All right, guys, welcome to part 4 of our Mortal Kombat Deception Conquest 100% playthrough. So for those of you who are fresh to this video and haven't watched the past ones, we are working our way through the Conquest portion of Mortal Kombat Deception and trying to do 100% of the side quests and unlock 100% of the crypt and basically do everything that will change the game. The only things that we aren't going to overly concern ourselves with in Conquest is anything that's not going to kind of change the dialogue of the game. So if there's a fight that you can have over and over and over again, and it's the same exact fight every time, and you get nothing for it other than money, we won't worry about it. But every chest gets open, and every side quest gets open, then obviously every main quest has to be done as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. We are going to be heading off into Chaos Realm this time. So, gotta load my no profile and head up to Conquest. So, for those of you who need a recap, Sujinko who is our main character here, Sujinko has, I guess I haven't laid that yet. Let's go ahead and lay that down real quick. We got a fight to have.
You are mistaken. I am the Elder God's champion. Stand down.
You leave me no choice. Prepare to be destroyed.
Alright, so Sujinko is a young man who has been chosen by the Elder Gods to go to the various realms and collect all of the Kamidogu. Why does he have to do that? Don't ask questions. They're the Elder Gods. He's just been chosen. Alright, so let's go ahead and fight this guy who thinks he's the champion of the Elder Gods, but Sujinko knows he's not.
Round 1. Fight.
Gotta remember how to play him. It's been a second. That works. There we go. So this character, Monster, was originally supposed to be Scorpion. Part of the storyline of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance involves Scorpion being thrown into a Solnado. Well, according to Scorpion's bio, he actually gets turned into the champion of the Elder Gods once he dies. That he, instead of going back to Netherrealm, he gets brought in front of kind of the pantheon of gods, and they choose him to do their bidding, and the exchange is going to be that they're going to bring back his family and clan, which is what Scorpion's all about, right? Let's push the axe here. And so originally this Monster character was going to be the transformed Scorpion, the actual champion of the Elder Gods, which is why he uses all of Scorpion's moves and looks vaguely Scorpion-like, shares a lot of the same design features. But having said that, timeline-wise, the Deadly Alliance isn't even happening yet. So they kind of, at the 11th hour, changed this from Scorpion to Monster. Because I don't know if they realized that the timelines don't match up or if they just thought it was stupid, but I actually would have preferred it to be that Scorpion did become the champion of the Elder Gods and he just wasn't bound by time. We're going to chip him to death. There we go. At least I think that would have been cool. Alright, we have 2 of our 6 Kamidogu, and we're about to go into Order Realm. So our plan with Order Realm is going to be the exact same thing that we did with Netherrealm. That we're going to go in and we're going to sweep through the main missions to the point in which we get the Kamidogu, and then we're going to do as many of the side quests as is applicable for this particular pass-through. If there's anything that we have to go back to later, we'll just be doing all of that during a final cleanup session that we'll do at the very end of the entire video series. So let's go ahead and get into it. Make sure that I am on my Order Realm, not Order Realm, Chaos Realm. Make sure that I'm on my Chaos Realm page, and we'll head over to Chaos Realm and do it. So Order Realm has a name, it's Sato, but Chaos Realm, fittingly, does not have a name. It's just called the Realm of Chaos. Because why would it have a name? Names are some kind of bondage. It's enslavement. There's a whole philosophy to Chaos Realm that's really interesting.
Shujiko, I see you are safe.
Yes, Damashi. I am unharmed. Who was that warrior in the Nexus?
I am not entirely sure. I could sense that he was quite powerful, but I did not recognize him.
He referred to himself as the Elder God's chosen warrior. Does he think he is their champion?
If he thinks this, then he is mistaken. As I have said before, you are their champion. You must continue your search in this realm, the realm of chaos.
Chaos?
The nature of this realm is one of constant turmoil. The beings here oppose order and structure. Chaos is their religion.
Yeah, so the people of Chaos Realm appear to be bad guys. Like if you talk to them, they're all about beating the crap out of people and deception and lying and things like that. However, because the goal of the Dragon King is to unify all the realms, thus unmaking them, they are actually the good guys because they are against close this real quick, it's distracting me. They are against Onaga unifying the realms. So kind of just by accident, they become the good guys because obviously a unification of the realms would not be a promotion of chaos.
You there! Stop where you are! You must fight if you are to enter the realm of chaos.
Sounds a lot like a rule to me. Defeat the warrior who is blocking the way. Of course.
One, fight! Round two, fight!
So even though it says Hotaru here, this is obviously just a representation of a Satan guard from the realm of Sato, which is the realm of order. Yeah, so a really interesting thing that, like I said, this whole thing has its own religion to it, is that they have a belief that order equals stagnation. And obviously stagnation means that there is no growth. And so even though, the planets, everything, move in some sort of order, they got there because of chaos. And so even though things tend to settle into order, it is chaos that creates the growth and movement in all things of the universe. That without chaos, there cannot be revolution. Without chaos, there cannot be any effective change, is their belief. Now they take it really extreme. So like they're against marriage unless they want to get married. But then even then the marriage isn't really a marriage because it's not that important, because you can't hold someone down, yada yada yada. It's confusing. But that's kind of the general gist of their belief. And I always thought it was it's not like the most well thought out thing ever, but it's impressively well thought out for what it is, which is a religion in a 1/6 of a side quest, of a side game in a fighting game. I'm pretty sure plenty of people didn't really even play the conquest part of Mortal Kombat Deception, or at least they played as little as possible. So the fact that they put any thought into it impresses me. The lore of this game's surprisingly deep for what it is. I'm not going to claim that it goes as deep as like the DC universe or as the Star Wars extended universe, but for a fighting game, yeah, Mortal Kombat's pretty deep.
Be wary, stranger. A wraith from the Netherrealm has seized the cemetery in the name of the Brotherhood of Shadow. Such an act is a violation of the Way of Chaos.
May I challenge the infiltrator? I have been endowed with powers from the Elder Gods themselves. I may be able to drive him off for you.
I admire your fighting spirit. You are most welcome to confront him.
Are you the Netherrealm Wraith who haunts this holy site?
Another fool has come to challenge me. So be it. As I told the others, I have taken this patch of dead terrain for the Brotherhood of Shadow.
We shall see, spawn of hell.
So this is the first time we're getting to see Noob Saibot in this game, and Noob Saibot was just originally a hidden character to fight in Mortal Kombat 2. That if you played a whole bunch of 2-player matches, you'd get to fight Noob Saibot, and he was just an all-black ninja is what they did.
Round 1. Fight!
And so he was just a little side character. He's actually in Mortal Kombat 3, where they just do a blackout of Kano, and then he's in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, and the whole 9 yards. He's actually in quite a few Mortal Kombats. Yeah, he's even in Mortal Kombat 4 on the console, and he was originally intended to be in the arcade game as well. But it's in this game, spoiler warning, but why would you watch this entire Let's Play if you didn't want spoilers? In this game is when he is revealed to be the original Sub-Zero. That you have Sub-Zero, who fought in Mortal Kombat 1, and then he was killed by Scorpion. And when he died, he went to the Netherrealm and started worshiping Shinnok and became Noob Saibot. And they revealed it in this game. And I remember it blew our minds. I remember me and my buddy screamed at our TV when we got to Noob Saibot's ending. I just remember we yelled at the TV. I'm sure you guys have done that before, on a good knockout in a fight or something. It was really goofy, but yeah, it was a big deal. So one thing I find kind of interesting about the Realm of Chaos is exactly how much non-chaotic stuff they have. And I think there's some philosophy behind that as well in my mind, in my own little headcanon, that you would say well, if they're chaotic, why would they bury their dead? And why would they bury their dead in straight lines? And why would they make, courtyards that are in perfectly squares and, symmetrical footprints for their buildings and all that jazz? But then if you say that chaos has to be something, then that's a whole nother form of order, which would be against their beliefs. I know I'm going way too nerdy with it, but I find the religion of chaos to be kind of fascinating, because ultimately you can't pin it down. The second you start saying what it is and is not, is the second you begin to lose sight of what it is, which is chaos is chaos. It's unpredictable. So there's a lot of side quests we're skipping right now that we're just hopping past. We're going to go back and do those once we've completed this part of the story. But he's important. There's a few missions that only happen because you do Cabal's mission. But the weird thing about the Cabal mission is that it doesn't really have to do much with the other missions that it unlocks. It just happens to unlock things. There's my man Havoc.
You have two choices, stranger. State your intentions, or hear the shattering of your spine.
I wander in search of holy relics, madman. Do not block my path.
A wanderer, eh? I am Havoc, a cleric of chaos. I would never think of confining a spirit such as yours.
Thank you, Havoc. I am Shujinko. I am a newcomer to the realm of chaos.
There are many newcomers as of late. Satan guardsmen, for instance. They seek to restrict the flow of our water, something we hold sacred. Water was not meant to be controlled. Its shapeless, fluidic nature is a blessing. I make you an offer, Shujinko. Take these 4 chaos pendants. Defeat each of the 4 Satan invaders and place a pendant around their necks. The pendants will shatter the bondage of order and reveal to them the perfection of chaos. Only then will they cease the enslavement of our water. Do this for me, and I will teach you the ways of chaos as well.
Who are these Satan guardsmen?
They are soldiers of an oppressive realm that have come to impose their order. They seek to control and alter our water supply for their own ends. Their presence here is offensive.
I will do as you request.
Only if it suits you at the time. I would not have it any other way. May chaos break the rules that bind my friend.
I love Havoc. I think Havoc's a really cool, interesting character. And of course, he's in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, but everybody is, and nobody really got their due in Armageddon. So really, this is the only game where they show any kind of exploration of Havoc's character. And I think he would be a really great addition to every Mortal Kombat. Just picture him going in there and just being a shit starter. You know, that he works for the good guys when he needs to, but ultimately his goal is to, you know, just keep things chaotic. And prevent too much order from happening. And so you can never trust him to stay on your side. He'll be on your side as long as it suits him. I don't know. I think he'd be a very interesting character. We have a few characters that are fairly predictable, even predictably unpredictable. But I think he is somebody they could really have a lot of fun with. Not to mention his character design is really cool. So I guess I should address these weird little platforms. They're obviously put in the Chaos Realm to make it a bit more confusing. If I switch over to my map, you can see that this is probably one of the most difficult maps to navigate. You can see that there's a colored lines that match up to the different places and where to go. Really, I had to play through this mode a lot, quite a few times before I ever could reliably make sense of it. I could look at the map and plot where I was going, but as far as actually knowing how to get from place to place, the chaos is real. There's a thing right in the middle that looks like a giant explosion. When you go there, it's kind of interesting because it's not. It's like a frozen explosion, as opposed to being some dynamic moving thing. So there's actually a loading screen of Sujinko looking at it, and it looks like he's looking at a giant explosion, but he's actually looking at a stationary object, which lends to the chaos. What are they marking over there? There's that white marker. I'm trying to figure out what that. Oh, that's my portal. Okay. So I'm so used to playing this game once it's all over that white marker is covered with a green marker, because that's where you go next. But regardless, let's move on and convert some of these Satan guardsmen to the ways of chaos. Pick up a bunch of rando coins along the way. I can't help myself but to show you guys this silliness. So this is something I discovered while kind of messing around in the game. I'm hoping it's in the GameCube version. We will see. It's a small, stupid detail that entertains only me. Trying to find exactly where it's at. There's a point, at least in the PlayStation version, in which you can actually step off this ledge just a little bit and make Sujinko kind of float in midair over this lake of, I assume that's supposed to be water. Of course, I'm not going to find it, right? Why would I? Ah, well, I suppose maybe they got rid of it. That was fun. I bet you that was incredibly entertaining to watch me do that. Alright, so let's go convert some of these Satan guards. Some of. All of. I wonder if these little talismans say anything. Chaos pendants. Place these pendants. These pendants convert their wearer to the way of chaos. Simple as can be.
You do not appear to be a Seda.
No, I'm not.
Did Havoc send you?
Yes.
Yes. He has asked that I defeat these intruders and place these pendants around their necks.
I have been trying to sabotage this facility, but thus far the invaders have foiled my plans. If you could reduce their numbers, I would have an easier time crippling their pumps.
I will try. Where are they now?
There is an invader in each of the four corners of the facility.
I will meet you here when I am finished dealing with them.
One way to do things is just poof away. I remember when I was a kid playing through this, or a pre-teen or early teen, I had a really hard time with this mission. That's the still I was talking about. That looks like he's watching something explode. But in reality, that's a stationary object that just sits there looking like that. Kind of a cool element. Oh! Oh, that's right, that's right. That's why I had trouble with it when I was a kid. Is because they're going to test the 4 combatants that I have already learned under. And when I was a kid, I probably didn't remember how to play each one of the characters. But I think I'll do alright this time.
Round 1. Fight!
There we go, that's what I want to see. But those people who know me well, like my friends and family, they know that I have quite an aversion to throwing up. It bothers me a lot. So it's kind of weird that one of my favorite characters is Boraicho, who is kind of known for puking. Cool. I didn't even keep my Twitch open. How am I supposed to know people are chatting at me? Oh, I have my one robot viewer. Hi, robot viewer.
You are not of the Satan Guard. You must leave here at once.
Hey, robot viewer. If you aren't a robot viewer, you should say something in the chat. Scrubby Z.
Fight! Flawless victory. Round 2. Fight!
So this is actually, they brought Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, the game before this, the characters didn't have uppercuts. That was a major complaint that a lot of fans had about it, was that Mortal Kombat has to have the uppercut. So in this Mortal Kombat, every character has an uppercut. Just to appease the fans. And they learned, like, oh, okay, I guess uppercuts are really important to fans. Also, if you throw a punch like that, you break your pinky. So don't throw your punches like this. You either want to throw them straight, like this, or if you're throwing a circular punch, you want to do it with your palm facing you. Get good, scrub.
I must place you under arrest for trespassing.
Adorable, we say to the Satan Guardsman. So there's plenty of story indication that there are more than just these realms, but that many of the realms are actually just absorbed into Outworld by Shao Kahn ages ago. That's right. Doing well so far. Got Scorpion looking at you here. Mortal Kombat X Scorpion, one of my least played Mortal Kombats. I still probably put in over 100 hours onto it, so it's not that I didn't play it. Just I didn't play it as much as the other ones. Because at the time, I was going through some job transitions, so I didn't have as much time to play with friends and family. Alright, so this should be the last of our Satan Guardsmen.
Leave now. You are not authorized to be here.
What a fool. You should know better. He's in the realm of chaos. You cannot control us. Their national slogan is, "Don't tell me what to do."
Round one. Fight!
I'm done. Alright, so now we gotta head back to let the guy know that we did our job, and then we're gonna go train with Havoc.
You have done it! You have converted the Satan Guardsmen to the ways of chaos. Havoc will be most pleased. He waits for you in the town to the south.
You know, I think I ran the wrong way. There we go. So when I first played through this, I remember thinking that this story was incredibly long. However, you know, you can pretty easily get through just the story portion about 2 to 3 hours if that's all you do, if you just kind of rush through it. So, it's a lot shorter than I thought it was, but of course this video is going to be very, very long.
converted the Satan Guardsmen to the ways of chaos. They shut down their facilities and came here for guidance. I proposed to them a mission in their home of Satan, the realm of order. They have already embarked on the quest. I thank you for your assistance.
You said you would show me the way of chaos if I were to free their minds.
As if I would honor a deal? You should know better than to bind a man of chaos to his word. I will free myself of this oppression. Fight.
Like, come on. I mean, I know the voice acting was crappy, but like, what a cool character that he's all like, we had a deal. He's like, bitch, why would I give you a deal? I'm Havoc. I'm a cleric of chaos.
Havoc.
So his tutorial, which I'm going to be clicking through the dialogue throughout the tutorial pretty quickly, but the whole time he's basically, this is, instead of him training us, he's fighting us. And the whole time he's fighting us, he's kind of, I guess, calling his shots, being like, you know, let's see if you can handle my snake style. Very old Shaw Brothers style kung fu dialogue. I think in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, Shang Tsung had the snake style. I'm a big fan in fighting, self-defense that is, not friendly sparring, but in self-defense of striking the eye. That's a cool thing about the snake style, is that they do a lot of eye strikes. I don't necessarily know if the whole snake style would be what I would base my entire self-defense study off of, but they definitely have some good tricks hidden in there as far as getting somebody popped in the eye. I don't think it takes a very smart person to realize that an eye strike is going to be a valuable asset in a fight.
Excellent.
So Snake is actually one of the original 5 animal styles of Shaolin Kung Fu. And basically, most people agree that the vast majority of old martial arts from China, well, all Chinese martial arts and most Japanese and Korean arts actually stem from the Shaolin monastery. And so Snake is one of the oldest styles of Kung Fu there are, that you had snake, crane, leopard, tiger, and dragon, if I'm not mistaken, was the order. And Snake was especially prized because Snake didn't require a lot of strength to perform. But now we're working on Tang Sudo. And Tang Sudo, for the longest time, I could never understand what people were saying with Tang Sudo, that they kept saying it's Korean karate. And karate is a word for Japanese martial arts. For a lot of Japanese martial arts, not all of them, but many Japanese martial arts are under this big banner of karate. So think about, like, oh, I don't know, you might have, you know, a broad term, like you have dance, and that'd be like the word martial arts, right? And then you have swing dance, which is a kind of dance, and then you have Lindy Hop, which is a style of swing dance. And so karate's kind of like calling it like swing dance. But now that I've not studied Tang Sudo, but I've been in the martial arts world long enough to understand that it's effectively the Koreans' take on the Japanese art. So the Japanese art came to Korea, then it was modified and became Tang Sudo. And I'm sure anybody who knows Tang Sudo would see the stance that they chose to represent Tang Sudo, because I've never seen someone... Most Tang Sudo people seem to just kind of get into a normal kind of karate stance with the really wide legs and kind of their fists up. If you think about like what a boxer stance looks like, but make the feet further apart, that's kind of what most of the Tang Sudo people will stand at. So I don't know what this weird thing is that he's doing. That's a good one. Well, it's only 16 damage, but then it is a 16 damage without any, like, style switches, I guess. Oh, right, the Morning Star. So weapons like this were actually made primarily to smash armor. So we look at it and we think about it like poking into someone's skull or crushing someone's head. But when European fighters, so basically, you know, you have this interesting evolution of weapons in European martial arts, and you know, we start off with swords, just like most war arts do. But what the Europeans did was they covered themselves in metal armor, and so the swords just kind of bounced off of them. So they didn't work. Swords didn't work all that well, and so swords started getting bigger and heavier, so that they would function more like an axe, that they would like dent and like smash through the armor. And then eventually, just weapons started to look like hammers. And so you had things like this, where it's very heavy with a lot of piercing, so it would pierce through the armor to hit them. I need to actually do these, otherwise I'm going to run out of time. Feel the wrath of my Morningstar combos. Yes, let's. So one of the tricks, if you were to be speedrunning this game, which I'm not, is to recognize that you have to let the combo counter reset in order to get success on the next combo. So you saw there I did the YYY combo too soon after the last combo, and it didn't register it because I didn't put enough of a pause. Let's see here, so it's A, Y. Let's go ahead and put him up against the wall for this one. A little bit of a diagonal on the wall. Oops. Yeah, I'm wrong. I'll get it, you'll see. There we go. Once again, always putting the emphasis on going from one martial art to the other. It's actually something they have very accurate in this game. So the martial arts isn't super accurate, but a lot of the concepts are accurate. And one of the big concepts that I always try to stress to people who are interested in martial arts is don't marry just one martial art. You can start with one martial art, that's cool, but you should probably study a couple arts. At least one striking art and one grappling art. So you have to know both of those. I usually say a weapons art is good too, because you know, the vast majority of attacks that happen on the street involve some sort of weapon, so it's nice for you to know how to use a weapon as well. Obviously, you know, learning something like a katana is maybe not the best for self-defense, but you know, learning how to use a stick properly, learning how to use a knife properly, I think that's important to learn. So as he says during his little dialogue here, is that his special moves are designed to like bewilder the mind. You know, that he's breaking your brain is the idea. So you see, for him to do that projectile, his legs snap in half.
Well done.
Ooh, so spooky. So confusing. Oh, corpse taunt. Okay. There we go. Did it the wrong way. Give you a taste. Yeah, the taunts are sometimes difficult to get, even on a lower difficulty setting, just because if the person hits you while you're doing the taunt, it doesn't count. Like the torso spin, you have to hit with the first part of the torso spin.
Well done.
Boy, I love this game.
Round
Alright, let's do it.
Fight!
Just like that, Sujinko now knows the way of chaos. Which should make him more appreciative of his ridiculous journey.
Well done.
Well done. You tried to kill me.
Nonsense. How could I teach you the way of chaos if there was an agreement, a structure to the lesson?
Oh, I think I understand. I was learning from the unpredictable nature of experience, not from a structured tutorial. I did not realize you had no intentions of harming me when you attacked, and therefore I learned to adapt to what I perceive to be a real threat.
You are correct, except I would have killed you if you had given me the chance. I was quite serious. Because you have survived my assault, however, I give you this key to an ancient labyrinth. May it unleash chaos upon your journey.
So one of the shows on YouTube that I think is really good that you should definitely check out is called Boundary Break, where they take a kind of in-game camera and look around the game world in ways that were not intended to see sort of what sort of weird artifacts are left around. And I would have loved to see him do a Boundary Break on this. He did a Boundary Break on Mortal Kombat 9, but there's so much going on here. I like what's under us, and get a close-up of this in-game model of Havoc, because it's a really low poly model compared to what's in the game, in the fighting game, that is. Anyways, let's move on. But like this moment would usually end our journey in Chaos Realm. That's what I'm saying, is that like, oh, this game's a lot shorter. It's a lot shorter than I remember. But of course, I probably didn't go from point to point to point when I first played it as a teen. I probably explored the world a little bit. Let's step into the goo and get this Kamidogu. This guy's got no fear. What's wrong with you, Sujinko? As Sujinko walked through the shallow pool, he felt a strange, dizzying sensation, as if the world was passing him by.
Sujinko, you have found the Chaos Kamidogu.
Yes, I found it in a labyrinth not far from here. But I feel strange. I feel like I have changed.
Indeed, you have. Many years have passed since you first entered this realm. I suspect the labyrinth you encountered contains some time-altering agent. Time has passed, but you have not perceived it.
Many years? By the gods. I do feel older. It must have been that strange liquid I stepped through.
That is a distinct possibility. It matters not. You should return to the Nexus and place it on the altar. You have done well, Sujinko. The Elder Gods will be pleased.
Oh, thank you. So sweet. Okay, so that ends the primary missions in Chaos Realm. We are not going to go through the altar quite yet, or go to the altar, go to the Nexus quite yet. We're going to go ahead and do as many of the side quests as possible. I know there's one side quest that requires us to have Edenia unlocked, so we are not going to do that one. But other than that, I think we can get most of them done, assuming none of these teleporting pads are locked, which I don't think they are, but we'll see. So let's go ahead and start with our first one here, which is 401, Scorpion's Mask. So I basically know right where that's at. So I'm fairly familiar. So I didn't do a initial playthrough of this level yet. Usually I do, but I kind of just felt like playing, and thought I'd stream it and record it.
I have heard rumors that a member of my clan, the Shirai Ryu, has been killed somewhere in this realm. I have been unable to locate his body. If you should discover my fallen comrade, bring his mask to me. It will serve as proof to my clan that he has been slain.
Okay, so I know right where that's at, so we're gonna make a beeline to it. This mission I'm very familiar with, off the fact that I'm a big mark for Scorpion. Scorpion is my absolute favorite character in the game. It's very hard for someone to even come into second place in my brain. So whenever I have played through this, I always do this mission because I have to help Scorpion. It's important to me, even though I'm technically Sujinku is part of Lin Kuei, which is a rival of the Shirai Ryu. But somewhere over here we should have a dead Scorpion body. There he is, look at him. Oh, what a shame, Scorpion. Obviously this is just a Shirai Ryu Scorpion. Not the real guy. It's just one of his normal kind of henchmen. Do a little face sitting, just sit on his face. Okay, let's check him out. Yeah, so meditating in this game has all sorts of weird effects on the in-game world, and one of them is some sets of people will move. So these guys will never move if you just stand here like this. But if you meditate for a while, you'll see that they slowly start to move sideways. And they'll keep on moving, and eventually they'll reset back to their place. But you'll see now they're not in the same place anymore. But after I hit him, he goes and he finds his proper place. So see the spacing is different there now? So they have markers that they're supposed to go to. But you can see that these two are further spaced now than those two. So, fun random fact, I guess. There's a lot of weird things that you can make happen with the meditating. Most notably is punching Johnny Cage, which I've done twice. I intend to do a third time at some point. I was thinking about maybe like every 10 years I punch Johnny Cage. And I'll do a video about it. Maybe this go around I'll actually stream it. Who wants to sit there and watch me do nothing for hours on end? It'd be great.
You have found the mask of my fellow Shirai Ryu. I am now convinced that he is dead. Take this as payment for your assistance. I shall return to my clan with the mask.
Alright, so the next one should be in the oh, I'm not supposed to go that way, I'm supposed to go back. It's gonna be, we're gonna look for Kira and help her with her memory loss situation. Which probably shouldn't do, because Kira works for the Black Dragon, which is Kano's clan, and that's no good. So we're gonna look around here and see if we can find her. Oh, look at that. So she'll be around here somewhere, I believe. There she is. What's up, Kira?
Chaos warps and confuses the mind. The time I have spent here has caused me to forget who I am. Somewhere among the temple ruins lies a scroll which may contain the answer to my identity.
Head to the ruins and find G6. So it's just, so I'm not sure. So the tutorial says I have to complete the Conquest mode main missions. I don't know if they mean the main missions in Chaos Realm or for the entire story. So we'll take a quick peek at that. See if we can even get to the ruins. Because we may have to, if the ruins aren't open for us to go to, we are not going to be able to complete most of the missions in this particular run. And if that ends up being the case, we'll just move on to the next part of the story and make this a part of the cleanup. So the ruins are going to be on the kind of the group of buildings that the blue line is going to. So we're going to head towards that blue line. Boy, nighttime's so dark in this game. So really annoying glitch in the PlayStation Portable, the PSP version of this game, is when you meditate, that little whining noise you hear doesn't stop after you get done meditating. It's pretty terrible. Okay, so let's see if we can make it to the ruins. Oh, this is locked. Okay, so that's going to change our game plan completely. All right, so we're going to go ahead and stop entirely working on Chaos Realm, because I know from doing these side missions that quite a bit of them involve going to the ruins in this area, and I don't really want to filter through them all to find out which ones they are. So instead, what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and move on to and push the story forward, and we may even change our game plan entirely and just work to play through the entire story, of course doing the important missions that are time sensitive along the way. But let's go ahead and I don't know if we're going to play through the whole story today, I doubt that, but we're going to push through and try to unlock a little bit more of the game before we mess with Chaos Realm, because it looks like a lot of Chaos Realm and stuff we're going to have to come back to during kind of a cleanup session. And that's not a big deal. It's a shame, because I would have liked to spend more time in Chaos Realm. Took me a long time to learn to appreciate this place. I'm checking to make sure I'm heading to the right place here. Yeah. Yeah, when nowadays I think Netherrealm's my least favorite place to go. But boy, when I was younger, I was so confused by the Chaos Realm layout. I just hated doing everything here. So I very rarely did any of the missions in Chaos Realm when I would play through it as a teen, because I just didn't want to be here anymore. Now I think it's kind of fun. I'm just going over there to see what's there. So I've done a 100% playthrough of this game before, but it was done very organically, and it's just kind of at the like I kind of had a file that was mostly complete, and then went back and completed the stuff that I had somehow missed along the way. This is the first time I'm really sitting down and being like, yeah, we're gonna do 100%. And so things like, oh, I need to wait for more of the game to unlock to play through Chaos Realm, that's kind of a new thing to me. I didn't know that. I just figured things were already unlocked, but that's not the case. That's also not a problem. Ooh, this was exciting. So this is Outworld, and that's really hype. As Total Mortal Kombat would say, make Outworld purple again. Outworld is where everything happens in the Mortal Kombat lore. For those of you who are fans, you already know that. And so this game, they kind of mess with you. They start you in Earth Realm, they hit you in Nether Realm, which is like you've heard of Nether Realm. Scorpion does stuff in there, and then Chaos Realm is brand new. And now here we are, halfway through the game, kind of, sort of, and we are getting to go to Outworld, the coolest place. So let's go. All sorts of fun to be had here. So we're going to do the same thing, I think. I think we're just going to focus on pushing through the story, which means today we're going to hopefully complete I'll let him talk.
Outworld, Shujinko.
This is Outworld? I have heard many stories about this realm. This is the domain of the Emperor Shao Kahn.
Never indeed. He is a thief, a deceiver. He is not the rightful lord of this realm. There was a time when he was much like Raiden is to your Earth realm, an advisor, but he abandoned his position and stole Outworld for himself.
Who ruled Outworld before Shao Kahn?
A powerful military commander, Onaga, the Dragon King. In that age, Outworld was unified. Under Shao Kahn's rule, however, Outworld has become a dangerous and chaotic place. Be wary as you continue with your quest.
I will keep my eyes open, Damashi.
You see how he said that under Shao Kahn's rule, Outworld is dangerous and chaotic. So even though Havoc is working in the vein of trying to stop the Dragon King, which kind of makes him a good guy, he's also pro Shao Kahn, makes him a bad guy. That's what I'm talking about. He's an interesting character. We should bring Havoc back. Let's start that as a pressure to NetherRealm. Let's bring Havoc back. Now, NetherRealm, oh my gosh, I could give you guys a tour of this place, but all the cool stuff that's hanging out around here, all the different characters that are hidden here. As far as my memory is concerned, the vast majority of cameos are in Outworld, not NetherRealm, are in Outworld. There's so much messed up going on in this place. This is also where our boy Shujinko really fucks a lot of shit up.
Look at what we have here. Another straggler for Melina to sink her teeth into.
I do not wish for trouble, but I will defend myself if necessary. I must warn you that I am quite skilled in the art of combat.
Is that so? We will see how long you can endure my attacks. I will sharpen my teeth with your bones.
So a thing about Melina that I don't think always gets appreciated is the fact that she's probably like somewhere between like 4 and 10 years old. So we know Katana is thousands of years old. And I think in this timeline, she is as old as Katana. But if you look at the Mortal Kombat 9 timeline, she is made in Shang Tsung's flesh pits during the Mortal Kombat 1 tournament, which means, or around the Mortal Kombat 1 tournament, which should mean that she's close to the age of that tournament. Which is crazy. So, think about that. Maybe you shouldn't. I didn't know we were going to train. I thought I was going to be fighting.
Good job.
I know nothing about this martial art style. I've never even heard of it. Yin Yang. Yin Yang. Yin Yang. I've read it like, Yin Yang. What does that say? Well, I can tell you about the Yin Yang symbol that, was really popular in the... I don't even remember what it was popular. I know it was popular in the 90s. But I think it was more popular in America before then. But that's oftentimes a really misunderstood symbol. That when we see the yin yang, we oftentimes kind of think about it as like good and evil, dark and light, which it kind of is. But it's not actually talking about opposing forces. It's more talking about forces that complete each other. So instead of thinking about it as like good and evil, which are opposed forces that don't really complement each other, think about it more like man and woman or day and night. The best description is to think about the pedals on a bicycle. That in order to go forward, you have to push one pedal down and let one pedal go up. And that synergy is what moves the bicycle forward. So the yin yang is actually kind of representing that philosophical concept for the universe, saying that for the universe to function, there has to be this interplay between things that appear to oppose each other, but are actually two pieces of a whole. And you have the two little dots, and those are saying that in each of them there is an element of the other. Little Eastern philosophy lesson for you.
Stimulating performance.
She's such a perv. You gotta love it. But that's the idea. She's a really cool character. I have know nothing about this style either. She's such a cool character because if you think about, there's a lot of sexy characters in video games. I mean, for the most part, why would you make a character that's not like jacked or sexy or interesting to look at in some fashion, right? But she's interesting because she is by far the most sexualized character in the game, but she's got the teeth, and so it, she lures you in. It's kind of like a succubus sort of situation. A lot of wives for her.
Well done.
Yeah, I don't know if it really matters to people anymore. I know it used to matter, but we are actually playing this on the actual hardware. I find most of the time when people are doing Let's Plays and stuff of this, just for the convenience of a computer, they just emulate the game. But we are actually playing this on the original hardware. I remember back in 2006 when YouTube first started, that was really important. It was like, yeah, why would you emulate the game? Emulations for posers. And nowadays, I think the vast majority of streamers who play old games are actually emulating them.
Good job.
So that, the opinion of emulation has definitely lessened with time, I think, or gotten better with time. People don't look down on people who emulate. And if you're wondering why I'm saying this, it just proves my point. You're like, I don't have a problem with emulation.
Excellent.
Exactly. That's what's different. But back in my day, emulators were posers. I don't even know if people say posers anymore.
Excellent work.
This is not one of my favorite Mortal Kombat songs. A lot of the songs in Conquest mode I really like, particularly Earthrealm and The Village and Boraicho's Training, but this song kind of grates on your ears a bit. But it's interesting that I did kind of a partial Let's Play through this game ages ago, and when I did that, I think I was the only person on YouTube doing a Let's Play of it. And so I never finished it, and so that's one reason why I'm making this video, is to kind of fulfill that and finish that. But but now there's tons of Let's Plays of this game. So I'm trying to make mine a little bit different by the fact that we're trying to do 100%, and also that I'm going to be kind of dropping lore as much as I can, as well as just martial arts history, because that's something that I know quite a deal about, and this game deals quite a bit with. So the idea up to this point is that, the warriors were training Sujinko, right? And that's how Sujinko got good. However, here we can see this is a fight between Sujinko and Melina. And so Sujinko has now, because of Damashi's gift, has developed the ability to just literally just absorb people's combat powers. That if I see you do it, I can do it. Kind of reminds me, if you are a big fan of Dragon Ball, the first time Goku does a Kamehameha wave, he just watches Master Roshi do the Kamehameha, and Master Roshi's like, oh yeah, that shit took me, years and ages to learn, and then he just blows up a car with it, no problem. So Sujinko is Goku. He's an optimistic youth who his own ego and love of combat oftentimes threatens the world. Thinks he's a good guy, maybe even appears to be a good guy, but he's not. Yeah, they're very similar. Let's get an audio check on that and see if that sound is grating at all. Luckily, it seems like you can hear me just fine. I'm going to close that back off. I like hopping in there. I do an audio check every once in a while. I'll make sure the stream's still smooth.
You survived my assault. You are a great warrior. There is much we can gain from one as skilled as you.
Thank you for your kind words, Melina.
Perhaps you would be interested in assisting our cause. Recently, the walled city of Lei Chen has defied the rule of the Emperor Shao Kahn. He has sent us, his Tarkatan forces, to take the head of the Overlord there. We would like to complete our objective without incident, but we will use force if necessary. Would you act as our voice and convince this fool of an Overlord to surrender his life to Shao Kahn, so that his subjects will be spared?
What if the Overlord refuses to surrender?
Everyone in the city will be slain. The city walls are strong, but they will not hinder our assault for long.
This is a most uncomfortable position for me. But if it means the citizens will be spared, I will see what I can do.
You have our word. Bring us the head of the Overlord and we will spare them all.
That's going to be a tough sell, isn't it? Alright, let's go talk to him. So here we are, walled city of Lei Chen. You know, it's interesting, but this is a city. But I really think this more qualifies as a village. So it's kind of an insinuation that the map is much larger than it actually is.
Are you the ruler of this city?
Yes, I am Overlord Zafiro. State your business. Shao Kahn has sent his Tarkatan horde to attack my city.
That is precisely why I am here. I have come to you with a message from the Tarkatan forces outside your walls.
You have my attention. Go on.
Shao Kahn has offered your people amnesty, under one condition. You must surrender your head.
My head? Unacceptable. I will never surrender myself to Shao Kahn. Not even to save my people.
The Tarkata grow in number outside the walls of your city. It is only a matter of time before they overwhelm your military and destroy you all. For the sake of your people, I strongly...
There may be another solution. If word of our struggle were to reach Sado, the realm of order, their elite guardsmen may give us aid.
If I can find that realm, I will tell them of your plight.
Excellent. You will need something of value to offer as payment. My city has been overtaxed by Shao Kahn, and therefore I have nothing suitable here. But there are rumors of a priceless object hidden somewhere in the living forest. If you can locate it, give it as payment to the Saden for their assistance. Please do not delay.
Not to fear. I will bring help.
Man, Sujinko. Look, he's gonna walk right by her. He's gonna sit here, he's gonna walk right by her, knowing that he just betrayed her. She asked him to do this thing, he was all like, yeah, I'll do it, and he just freaking moved on. Sujinko has no idea how much he's screwing everybody else over. Because I, unfortunately, would side with Melina and her troops over Sado anytime. Sado is a remarkably unreasonable group of people. Who we got here? Who's this? Hey, it's Reptile. What you doing, Reptile?
Leave me be.
Alright, I'll punch you, Reptile. It's like, is this a Jade fight or what? What do we got going on here?
Who are you? What are you doing in the living forest?
I have been sent here to search for a valuable item said to be hidden in this area.
You are too late. I have already found it. My queen sent me to secure it from the tyrant Shao Kahn. It seems I have located it just in time. Die, Outworld mutant!
In hindsight, I think I have this stream labeled wrong. But that's okay. We'll just keep playing through. Fight! doing me any good, but that's the move I was looking for.
Round 2. Fight!
What's up? That's what I'm talking about. Oh, well there it is, the Outworld Kamidogu. That was easy. Tried to wasn't easy to grab as I thought it was. See him going around it? My bad. Then we think we're just gonna leave, right? Aww.
You have uncovered the Outworld Kamidogu so soon? This is most fortunate.
I did not realize it was the Kamidogu. The Overlord of Lei Chen had asked me to offer it to the Seidan Guardsmen as payment for their assistance in defending against the Tarkatan hordes.
It belongs to the Elder Gods and must be returned to them. You will place it on the altar with the others.
But I have given my word that I would bring back help from the Realm of Order. How will I broker a deal with them if I cannot offer the Kamidogu?
The point is moot. You cannot enter the Realm of Order without placing this Kamidogu on the altar.
Ha!
If indeed you wish to aid the Overlord, I suggest you offer the command of the city to the Seidan militia. Their principal philosophy is one of order and control. They will have little interest in defending a city unless they occupy it. Furthermore, they will not resist the chance to thwart Shao Kahn.
But the Overlord did not give me the authority to...
What he wants is of no concern to us. The Kamidogu is not his to use as a bargaining chip. Broker a deal with the Seidan if you feel so compelled, but do not lose sight of your primary objective. Return the Outworld Kamidogu to its rightful place in the Nexus, and continue your quest.
I will do as you ask, Dimash.
And this is where the story starts to kind of bounce around. We don't have like as much of a linear line from realm to realm like we did in the first part of it. I don't know if this is actually the halfway point or the 1/3 point. I also want to make sure, because it's not too long from now, that we're going to be having to do the Earth Realm mission again. Try to knock out more of those. I'll take a peek at that during a cutscene as to not overly disturb you guys here. Shoop to whoop, let's add it. So one of the bummers in my life is I really like the way this altar looks with all the Kamidogu sitting on it. But at the end of the game, they disappear, and that bums me out because I worked hard to get them, and now I don't have them anymore. That's lame. That's lame sauce. Okay, so we're about to go into Sado. I think we're fine to do that because I think our marker is training with Nightwolf. I think that's our next step. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Does this save when I go through? I really check. Yes, every single time I go through a portal, it saves. So you must not make a serious mistake. Before you go through a portal. Here we are in Sado. Now this is interesting. Oh, let the story go.
Shujinko, Sado, the realm of order. Tread carefully, for the Seidan Guard enforces the law without mercy.
But I am new to this place. How How am I to abide by their laws if I do not know them?
This civilization has been built upon the concept of structure and organization. Deviation from this ideal is not tolerated. I cannot stress enough that you must avoid any entanglements in their legal system.
I believe the likelihood of that happening is small, but I will heed your warning, Devotion.
So here's an interesting thing, okay? So it is night, and it is illegal for Sujinko to be out at night, I assume. So he should be put in jail.
If you see anything suspicious, please inform one of the guardsmen.
And I guarantee punching a guard is illegal, right? Like this has got to be illegal. Also, that's a really nice detail. If you look at his blood, it starts off bright red and then it kind of fades a little bit. Punch it. Oh, didn't land that time. Will it land over here? Will it land over here? But his blood landed on the floor over there. Oh, whatever. So much cool stuff here. I'm like super bummed out not to be doing all the missions, but I just realized that I think pushing through the story is going to be the superior method, and then going back and doing the missions, of course ensuring that we do the time-sensitive missions along the way. But there's a lot of missions you can't do until the story mode is completed, so we'll have to do it that way.
Please excuse my interruption, but I am Shujinko, champion of the Elder Gods. I bring a message from the King of Lei Chen requesting the aid of your guardsmen in Outworld.
I am quite busy, champion. Get to your point.
Lei Chen is under siege and in need of reinforcements to help defend it. Overlord Zafiro has offered to give control of his city to your realm if your guardsmen come to Outworld and defeat Shao Kahn's invading horde.
Shao Kahn? Long have we battled against his minions. It would benefit all the realms to further suppress his advance. I am Commander Hotaru. I would pledge my aid to the Outworld City, but I still have work to do here. Help me end this riot by defeating the leader of the Resistance, and I will defend this Overlord. I would think a champion of the gods could end this uprising with ease.
I will assist you however I can.
Excellent. We will first need to train you to be a Satan guardsman, for you may not partake in an assault unless you are a deputized member of the guard. That is our law.
Then let us begin my training.
Follow me.
Looks like we definitely got a ways away because we got to do Baraka's training. We have to do Baraka's training before we even return back to Earthrealm. So let me kind of cue you in on what I'm thinking here. So there is one very time-based mission that you have to kind of do each part of at very specific times throughout Conquest mode. And so I'm trying to ensure that as we rush through the game that we don't miss those missions, because we're going to go back and do all the side missions, but there is a couple side missions that have to be done at very specific moments of the game. And so I'm trying my best to keep that in mind and keep track of what I need to do. So after I turn with Baraka, I'm going back to Earthrealm, and that is when that mission is supposed to happen. So I think our goal today is at least going to be to get to the point in which we go back to Earthrealm and I can kind of push this story further forward just a smidgen. By that I mean the story of the side mission, not so much the obvious story that we have been playing this whole time. Obviously Hotaru, he's part of the Satan Guard, and boy, they do a great job at showing just absolutely how absurd the Satan Guard actually are. Well, Paikwa is interesting because that's one of Scorpion's styles in Deadly Alliance. Or Paikwa, I'm not sure how to say that one. The art I know very little about.
Excellent work.
Yeah, I was talking about the Satan guards and how much they suck. Basically, their legal system is so bogged down by these frivolous imprisonments. Everybody gets a trial, but the waiting period for a trial is sometimes someone's lifetime. Or, 80 years or something ridiculous like that. So you'll be in jail unjustly for 80 years prior to them deciding whether or not you go to jail. Or something worse. Maybe not 80 years. Maybe it's 80 years. I'll say 80 years. What is this? The Naginata. This looks a lot like one of your standard horse killing implements. So a lot of these larger pole arms that you see Kung Fu people practice are actually military tools. They aren't meant for defending yourself against a person. They're meant for chopping legs off of horses. The Quan Do being one of the most famous of these. But just looking at this thing, I can see, like, yeah, this thing's meant to do a lot more than just stab a person. I'd say it's probably more so meant that the cavalry was coming in and you want to chop the legs off the horses or stab the person off of the horse. And this would do the trick. Interestingly, the fly kick, that kick that, we see Bruce Lee do, that fly kick was never intended to kick a human being in the traditional sense, like you're standing fighting someone and you just do a fly kick. It was actually intended to knock over horses or knock someone off of the horse. Oh, I need to go smash. There we go. Smash. I need to pause there. Boom, boom, boom. Beautiful. Now, I can't remember if Hotaru's name is a reference to a bug, like a dragonfly or a cricket or something, but I know that they modeled him off of a bug. That they intended him to kind of have a slightly bug-like appearance. We got the grasshopper. Oh, this move. So this is so Hotaru. So it is only fired at that 45-degree angle. That is the only way that it's fired, which is frustrating because it means your opponent basically has to be right where you need them in order to hit them with it. But it also kind of fits in with the order thing that if he learned to throw it at that distance, well, you better believe that's the exact method he will throw it every single time. So, for example, I have to wait for him to get in that spot. But it fits in with it because if you've ever studied martial arts with a very traditional person, extremely traditional martial artist, there's like one way to do each move and you do not vary from that method.
Round 1. Fight!
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You are now an honorary member of the Satan Guardsmen.
Hot damn.
Go now and defeat the leader of the resistance. His name is Darius. When you have completed this task, meet me here.
As you command.
I'm gonna go ahead and steal whatever this treasure is they're blocking. Because I can. Go over here, pick up this coin. Because I can. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a quick peek at our map. Alright, so I am in the yellow section, and he is in the orange section. So I'm actually heading in the exact opposite direction I need to. So, if you are going by the grid, I actually find this to be a very difficult map to move around. But I got everybody running around like crazy people. So if you're going by the grid, I find this really difficult to move around. But having said that, if you are going by the colors of the map. So you say like they're in the red section, super duper easy because this is the red section because the floor is red or close to it, orange, red, depending on where you got your TV set. And this is Darius.
Are you the warrior known as Darius?
And what if I am?
If you are the leader of the resistance, I have been ordered to defeat you in combat and bring this riot under control.
You have found your man. I am Darius. I look forward to resisting the rest.
So obviously Darius, he is a member of the realm of chaos and believes in chaos and all of its insanity. But way more important, that is maybe something lost in context, is this guy looks just like Morpheus from The Matrix. And I think The Matrix came out in 1999, and it was one of the biggest movies ever. And so this game is 2004. So it was right off the heels of The Matrix, and I have no doubt that Darius is intended to be a Matrix reference. It'd be cool. They're ugly stages, so I don't want to compliment them. But these, this is when you're actually playing the fighting game, you never fight in these stages, and it'd be kind of interesting to see an option to fight in these stages built into the game. Obviously, through cheat codes you can, or downloading, emulating it, cheating that way. By cheat codes, I don't mean like in-game cheat codes. I mean like Game Shark. Just to clarify, save myself trouble for like the 4 people who will ever watch this. Oh, pwned, bro. Oh, I don't want to meditate next to him. I want to teabag him. We're here. We go. Well, close enough. Ooh, it's bright here. All right, so let's go back. Punch this person in the face. Oh, he's so worried. Oh. And then go tell him we did a good thing. There you go, bud.
I have defeated Darius, Commander Hotaru.
Well done. It seems the rioters have been demoralized. Your service is no longer required. As promised, I will now depart for the city of Lei Chen in Outworld.
Thank you, Hotaru. I will meet you there.
That's Cabal. Don't hit him. He'll hit you back. Just heard somebody disappear somewhere. Heard the psh sound. I really love that design. For an ugly game, this is very beautiful. Yeah, so we're saving every single time we go through a portal. I'm just trying to keep in track of exactly where we're at. So today we're going to hit that mark where we're going to complete that, well, maybe not complete, but move on to the next step of that Earthrealm mission that we started in episode 2. So yeah, Outworld in Mortal Kombat 11 is no longer purple. It's who are you? Oh, you're just a random dude. It's all sorts of different colors. That's fine. I'm not like super upset with it. It looks a little bit more generic. Whereas I've never seen a world in which everything is purple like this game. So I kind of wish that they'd maybe keep that. But maybe they'll bring it back in later Mortal Kombats.
It is good to see you again, Hotaru. It seems the city is no longer under siege.
I drove off the invaders. They will most likely regroup and resume their assault, but I will stay to protect the city as long as is needed. I have taken control of this city in the name of order, as we agreed. However, King Zafiro seemed not to recall that arrangement.
Men often do not recall the details of bargains they make out of desperation.
It makes no difference. The agreement is binding. As punishment for his forgetfulness, I have stripped him of his position. I now rule this town in the name of Sado.
Congratulations, Hotaru.
Now, if you will excuse me, I must see to its governing if I am to keep this town under control.
Yeah, you can see just a real obsession with the control.
Come with us, human. Do not resist. You are outnumbered.
Never mind, story.
Overlord's emissary, the one who brought the Satan warrior Hotaru to defend the walled city of Lei Chen. I have lost many Tarkatan warriors to your treachery, human. You were to convince the Overlord to surrender, not bring him reinforcements.
You would not surrender. I did not wish to see his people suffer for his decision. Whatever quarrel you may have had with Overlord Zafiro, you had no right to punish them as well.
Shao Kahn's order is all the right I need. Overlord Zafiro defied him. When Shao Kahn discovers that our assault has failed, our punishment will be severe. I should allow my horde to rip you to pieces.
Yes, allow your soldiers to do what you are too frightened to do yourself.
What? I am
Thinking.
Baraka, leader of the Tarkata. I fear no one, least of all a human.
Then face me in combat. If you are so sure of your strength, kill me yourself. But if I emerge victorious, you must complete one task for me.
Agreed. My warriors will enjoy eating your flesh when I am done with you.
Let's go. I don't know if we're going to train with him or actually fight him. We'll find out. So we're in the... Oh, we're fighting him. Alright, cool. Yeah, so we're in the Tarkatan camp right now, and it's kind of cool that in Mortal Kombat 11 they have a Tarkatan camp fighting arena to fight in, and it's not one for one, even close, but it has a lot of similar things, like you have like bodies burning and things like that. It's cool that there's consistency amongst them. Yeah, it's interesting that in Mortal Kombat 11, and actually Mortal Kombat 9 and X as well, the story mode informs the environments that you fight in. So every fight that you have ends up in a stage that's actually in the normal fighting game. Whereas in this game, all of the arenas that you fight in the story mode, Conquest, are unique to Conquest. You don't fight in any of these stages normally.
You have defeated me, human. I would not have thought it possible. Tell me what I must do, and tell me quickly before I change my mind.
You are a powerful warrior, Baraka. I ask that you teach me your fighting techniques.
A great warrior I am, human. I will show you why I am the most feared Tarkatan in Shao Kahn's army.
Okay, now here is an interesting tidbit. Now this video is being made before Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath was dropped. So that's really important for this statement because it may change. There is literally not a moment in Mortal Kombat 11's Mortal Kombat story in which Baraka wins the fight. If you play through Mortal Kombat 9, Mortal Kombat X, and Mortal Kombat 11, Baraka literally loses every single fight that he is in. So I don't know why he's supposed to be so feared if that's the case. Hey, this is Salat. I know something about this martial art. I've studied it just a little bit. I study it for about 3 days out of each year, or 2 days out of each year. Salat is it's kind of an Indonesian art, but it was actually developed by the bodyguards of Alexander the Great. That he had a bunch of bodyguards that had expertise in different aspects of combat, and they all came together and combined their information into the art that eventually became Salat. Nowadays, if you study Filipino martial arts, you'll inevitably also going to be studying Salat to an extent. I think Salat has some good stuff, but it also has a lot of kind of frou-frou stuff that I would consider very archaic. So it's a good art to study, and it's probably one of the most fun arts to study. But as far as actual combat application, it's kind of neither here. It's got some really good stuff, and it's got some stuff that I would never attempt in a million years. But it's very fun. It's sometimes it's kind of like dancing, like having different dance moves. It's incredibly smooth. It's probably one of the most fluid martial arts ever, which is hard if you're not a martial artist to know what I'm talking about. But its ability to connect movement to movement to movement is beautiful and graceful. Hungar I don't know much about, except for I know that it is often considered a rival of Wing Chun, which is an art that I study. I would need my buddy Wesley here. He'd know more about Hungar. Oh, Shinzi. My dog's over here. Being adorable. You don't know. So is my wife. She's asleep over there as well. Yo. Cute Amanda. Alright, so the history of the Tarkatan blades. No, I'm kidding. There's just Baraka. Oh, I will say, there's the purple blade, and that's a glitch that only happens during training mode, at least as far as I've seen. So just fun whenever the purple blade shows up. I think this is the longest his blade's ever been. Like, if you look at his arms, there is no possible way those blades would fit in anywhere, even remotely. They're longer than his arms are, so how that worked, who knows. Baraka would be my second character in this game, so obviously I played Scorpion first. That's all I talk about. But Baraka, because of this chop chop move here, Baraka just obliterates the AI, especially Onaga. All you need to do to beat Onaga is just do the chop chop over and over and over again. Even on the hardest difficulty, you'll just wreck Onaga with the chop chop. There's that purple blade again. Yeah, playing through Conquest once, I don't think gives you a good idea of the characters, but I'm surprised that as I've played through the game, who knows how many times throughout my life, that if I play this game with friends, I oftentimes will try to pick a character that I don't play, so that we're kind of on a closer level, because let's face it, nobody plays the game as much as I do. But oftentimes I'm surprised that, like, I'll pick a character I think I know nothing about, and then I kind of do, because I've gone through the tutorial for that character 18 times. First try? That was a larger combo. I wasn't sure if I was going to get it. I don't want to call it, but, you know, I knew I was going to get it. I was sure of it. Ah, failed it. Yeah, that's what's up. That's a 28%. That's not too bad. Yeah, so because in Mortal Kombat 9 and Mortal Kombat X, the X-rays did about 32% damage. I can't remember the exact number. And same thing goes with the Fatal Blows in Mortal Kombat 11, about 32% damage. I oftentimes just use that as a calculator, that if I get a combo that's about 30% damage, it's really, really good, because both the X-rays and Fatal Blows are feared in those games. And so if every combo I do is as dangerous as a Fatal Blow or an X-ray, every combo I do is feared with equal weight. That's the philosophy, at least. He's supposed to be fighting me right now, or am I just going through the move? Oh, he is fighting. He's just sucking. Gotcha.
Round 1. Fight!
So this move here, if you literally just do this, you will tear through the computer about 90% of the time. Because it's down up, you guys aren't seeing the input for down up. If they attack me during it, most of the time he'll do the side step because I'm pressing down as they attack me. So I just press forward, down, up, A over and over and over again. You can wreck the entire AI that way. I don't usually exclusively play that way because it's not very fun. But when I get in a pinch, I'll default to it.
Enough. I have shown you enough of my combat skills. I must keep some techniques to myself.
I thank you for what you have shown me.
I will command my troops to allow you safe passage from our encampment. Go back to your portal and never return to this realm.
Yes, I will leave this realm at once. There is nothing more that I need here.
Except for Kamidogu, but you know, whatever. Well, I guess he was lying. Gotta take that into account. He could just be lying. Yeah, you definitely spend some good time here in Outworld. A lot of story beats that bring you back here, which is good, because Outworld's awesome. Can't remember that line Johnny Cage says in the movie, where he says, like, I feel out of place and everyone wants to kick my ass. It's like being back into high school. Alright, so that was the fight. That was the Baraka training.
Shujiko, I bring good tidings.
What do you mean, Damashi?
You have sacrificed much in your service to the Elder Gods these long years. Therefore, they are granting you that which you have desired since your childhood. A chance to compete in the Mortal Kombat tournament in Earthrealm and defeat the sorcerer Shang Tsung.
I do not know what to say. How did they know of my dreams of defeating Shang Tsung?
Long ago, I watched you from afar as you played with your childhood friends. It was quite clear that you worshipped the warrior Kung Lao. But unlike your hero, you will be more than a match for Shang Tsung. You have absorbed the fighting styles of many great warriors. Now is your chance to fulfill your dream.
Thank you, Damashi. I will return to Earthrealm at once.
See, that's the upsetting part. So, let me tell you the emotions I went through as a kid here. That I was pretty sure that meant that they were going to go through the Mortal Kombat 1 story, and I was going to get transported to Shang Tsung's island and take part in that. But they don't. Spoilers, like this entire thing is, it completely gets sidetracked, and he does not get the opportunity to compete in the Mortal Kombat tournament. But boy, I really thought that was going to happen. When it didn't, it bummed me out quite a bit. Okay, so we just trained with Baraka, so I'm going to take a half second to read what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Okay? So first we're going to be looking at 222. Make sure that's where our stuff starts here. It's where way. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start at 222, which we already kind of sort of started. So it says, for the solution, that you cannot complete this mission before you leave Earthrealm. You will return to Earth after the for the Mortal Kombat tournament after Baraka's training in Outworld. Speak with Kenshi when you first arrive here, and then continue to the main storyline mission and train with Nightwolf. After you have been cleansed, return to D4 and speak to Win once again. You will learn that they have selected Liu Kang to represent them in the tournament, but Win will ask that you assist them in Earthrealm anyhow, and you will receive the White Lotus emblem. Okay, so it's time. This is one of the clutch moments that we have to take care of. So it says that we need to go talk to Kenshi, and we need to finish our mission with Nightwolf first. So let's go ahead and do that. I am Still gonna maybe go talk to Wayne anyways. Back in Earthrealm. What's up? It's good to be home. Kenji's over here being blind, like he does.
The Shaolin have much to teach, if you are willing to listen.
Welcome back, Shujinko. We observed your training from afar and believe you are now proficient in the deadly arts. Yet, there is something odd about your chi. I sense a strange emptiness within you. I am sorry, Shujinko, but we cannot allow you to represent the White Lotus in the Mortal Kombat tournament if your soul is tainted. Doing so could prove to be disastrous.
So that might ruin it. So we're gonna go ahead and quit. And go back. Because we gotta get that White Lotus thing. And this is why saving's really important, and not to go through portals unless you've made sure you've done everything correctly. So let's go talk to Kenshi, get our soul cleansed, and then we should be good. As you can see, we're back at nighttime, so we've reset everything. So we'll just go talk to Kenshi, then go with Nightwolf, get our soul cleansed, and then we'll be good. But it is kind of cool that we got to get that little dialogue in there and see what that's like.
Please excuse my curiosity, but why do you cover your eyes? Are you blind?
Yes, due to the treachery of the sorcerer Shang Tsung.
You have met Shang Tsung?
He preyed upon my desire to prove my superiority in combat. He promised to show me the location of a powerful sword that would complement my skills. The sword was entombed among the souls of my warrior ancestors. Shang Tsung consumed their souls to increase his power. The experience left me blinded.
Is the sword from your tail the one you now carry?
Yes, the sword guides me. Over the years, it has shown me the way to use my other senses in combat.
Most impressive. You are truly a warrior of distinction.
Now I have but one goal, to slay the sorcerer who blinded me. Doing so will free the consumed souls of my ancestors. If you provide me with his location, I will teach you to fight without your eyes.
I am to enter his Mortal Kombat tournament. When I find him, I will return to you with any information I uncover.
My search for Shang Tsung will continue here in the north. I suggest you look in the southwest.
So we talked to Kenshi. And then, is this the Nightwolf training, or am I going to go fight Shang Tsung? Looks like the Nightwolf training. So I gotta go get my soul cleansed. Let's go ahead and make it daytime so it's visually a little bit more appealing in here. Oh, 9 p.m. is not daytime. It's so bright. There we go.
This is sacred ground, stranger. I am Nightwolf. I must ask you to leave this place before your evil taint defiles the sanctity of these grounds.
Dang.
I do not understand. I am Shujinko. I assure you that I mean no disrespect to your people.
I sense corruption in your soul, Shujinko. A spiritual contamination that I have never before perceived.
I feel no touch of evil, but my travels have taken me to many worlds. Perhaps it is a result of my journeys in the Netherrealm.
It is possible. If you will allow me, I may be able to purge this contagion from your being, although it will take many years to accomplish.
Many years? It will delay my quest, but I suppose I should take advantage of your offer.
I agree that he should cleanse his soul, but it's awfully crazy how he does not take the search for the Kamidogu very seriously. I feel like he could have done this in a much shorter time.
Nightwolf.
Val Tudo. So Val Tudo is a Brazilian art, and the reason why I'm doing this, I'm saying art, is Val Tudo is really more of a sport. Val Tudo just means anything goes, and it's a very early form of mixed martial arts. So if most martial arts competition are kind of locked into a particular style. So like you'll have kickboxing, which is effectively karate and Muay Thai, that it's punches, kicks, and sometimes knees and elbows. Then you have grappling arts like wrestling and judo and jiu-jitsu, and they don't punch at all. They just grapple, they just wrestle with each other and try to pin and submit each other. But in Valtudo, you can do anything. So you can kick, you can punch, you can knee, you can elbow, but you can also take people to the ground and put them in joint locks and make them give up that way. That a lot of people kind of create this legend that MMA was started with the first UFC, and that's just not even remotely true. The Valtudo had been going on, I mean, I want to say even in the 50s, they were doing Valtudo matches. Not to mention that Bruce Lee was doing probably what we'd call mixed martial arts in America in the 60s. Because he was combining different martial arts, and he was doing standing, clinch, and grappling techniques and mixing them all together and doing full contact sparring. He wasn't competing, they weren't doing any actual like formal competition, but they were doing non-cooperative sparring. So Taekwondo is a much younger art than I ever think it is. Taekwondo is a Korean art. Today it's mostly an Olympic sport. They are allowed to throw punches, but you will almost never see it because they get a lot more points for kicks, and the punches they're allowed to throw in the sport are very specific. Taekwondo people are excellent at kicking, but because of the nature of their competition, where they aren't allowed to hit directly to the center of the face, they can hit the sides of the face, but not directly in the center of the face. Because of that rule, most Taekwondo fighters have very bad protection over their head. But you gotta watch out for their kicks because they will knock you out with just one kick. So get in on them. You're a good boxer. You'll do just fine. But if you try to hang and kick with them, or if you aren't good at throwing headshots, if you don't understand your range, you might be in trouble. But most Taekwondo people I find would benefit from some basic boxing training. And the stance he's taking is sort of Taekwondo, but usually you'll see Taekwondo has a much bouncier stance. And of course the tomahawk. I don't need to tell you what the tomahawk is. The tomahawk is a classic Native American weapon. You also see the tomahawk in other cultures as well. It's effectively a hatchet. I actually did some tomahawk training back in 2008, I want to say. Just took a few classes. It was very similar to the Filipino art of Kali. Might have actually just been Kali with tomahawk in its hand. I'm not really sure. That's an easy one, remember? Just all 4 buttons in order. 1, 2, 3, 4. I play next to no Nightwolf. One, two, three. Sometimes if I'm looking at the screen, I have a hard time doing it. I'll just look up and I'll get it. Which is terrible for actually playing people. Shit. Yay! Whew. Worry about that one. I think that one's caused me trouble in the past. That's easy enough. Alright, now I really choose Nightwolf. Nightwolf has a really nice versatile set of tools where he can do a lot of close range and distance fighting. See how that knocks the person back to mid-range, so then they have to deal with that on their way in. Down up B. Now this hits in a very specific location, has a big wind-up. I don't know if it's blockable though. I wonder if it's not blockable, that's why it's good. Oh. Oh my god, I just remembered playing tennis. So what we used to do is we get two Nightwolves going, and I would reflect his shot, and then he would reflect my shot. And we just go back and forth until someone dropped an input. I forgot about doing that. I'm gonna have to play tennis with some people here. So a little tip, if you ever miss one of your special moves in the game, go ahead and just throw a punch and hit the person. Every once in a while, the game will register that as a successful special move, even if though you missed. Because like you do the special move, then damage happened.
Round one. Fight!
Cool. Okay, so now we should be able to go talk to Win, and hopefully he doesn't say that my soul is corrupted and something horrible happens. Oh yeah, story. So let's see. So Sujiko spent many years with Nightwolf, who taught him much about the spirit of the warrior. Oh, through Nightwolf's teaching, Sujiko extended his consciousness and heightened his awareness. What I think I said. Let's try and catch it.
You have accomplished much since beginning your spiritual cleansing, Shujenko.
Always ends at night.
The taint of evil continues its hold on you. My training has given you the ability to control it.
I am grateful for what you have done for me, Nightwolf.
I wish you luck on your journeys. You are always welcome in the lands of my forefathers.
Unless my soul gets tainted again. Which it will, because I'm Sujinko, and I do horrible things. Let's get back to daytime, and hopefully go talk to, what's-his-face? Master Win? Is that his name? Should be right around here. Be kind.
Shujinko, I am sorry. I know you trained hard to enter the tournament, but sadly, the White Lotus could not wait for your return. Liu Kang is a more than able combatant and will represent the White Lotus honorably. Nonetheless, you can still aid Earthrealm as a member of the White Lotus. We have heard of several strange beastmen roaming the countryside.
That answers a huge question. So, when I was younger and I played through this, it just seemed really arbitrary that Sujinko didn't go to do the tournament. So this kind of tells you that Sujinko was supposed to be going to the tournament, but because he took the time to do the training with Nightwolf, basically screwed himself over and robbed himself of that opportunity. Cool. Okay, so that means that we just complete that one. You will learn such as happened anyhow. You will receive the White Lotus emblem to prove you are a member of the White Lotus Society. I don't know if I've gotten that yet. Have I gotten that yet? Oh, there it is. Boom! Yeah! Awesome. Let's move on to the next piece here. Alright, so after Sujinko goes through his final aging process, return to Earthrealm and approach the monk at Temple C7. Didn't they tell me to go get the beasts? Oh yeah, okay. Cool. So the Beastmen. So these beasts are actually Tarkatans. You will find a slew of them by heading back towards the portal. They should be occupying A4 near the United Nations building. I know where that is. You will be presented an automatic scene which, when you approach and after some talking, you will do battle. The match stipulations are yada yada yada. Only your weapons will do damage, which is fine. Cool, so I go fight. After you defeat Baraka, apparently frightens them all away. 400 sapphire coins. I'll come back here, I suppose. Sweet! Let's go kill some beastmen. So the United Nations building is over Meow somewhere. Look at them. Look at them there, those SOBs.
Fresh meat. Smells like a warrior. Shao Kahn promised us a coin for each of their teeth. Let us feast, my brothers, and suck the marrow from his bones.
Gross, dude. Don't do that. Strikes me as rude. What's up? Beat Baraka, only your weapons will do damage. No problem.
Fight.
Out of curiosity, is that a weapon? That is a weapon. Is that a weapon? That is a weapon. Does it work if I'm not in my weapon stance? Ha! Alright. So it's more that I can only do damage while in my weapon stance. Yeah, so even the throws do damage. So I just have to be in the weapon stance.
Flawless victory. Round 2. Fight.
Yeah. Alright, done and done. So let's go have a quick convo over Meow. Tell them what we gone done did.
Once again, you have proven your worth to the White Lotus. Continue your adventures and see if you can discover why these Takata were sent to our realm.
Sounds good. And I think that's a great place to stop because that's kind of one of the big moments for this game. I know storyline, it doesn't seem to matter at all, but literally you can only do that fight in this exact point in the game. If you go up too much further forward, you won't be able to do it. So you have to do it at the right time. So now that we got that, we're awesome. So next time I really have to worry about anything like that, I believe, is going to be during the, I'm about 90% sure, is once Tujinko is already old, during my final aging process. So we'll go back after that. Yeah. So that's the next step. So we're going to go ahead and cut the stream off here, right at the 2-hour mark. I think that's good. And then we'll be back later with, I want to say it's part 5. And we'll probably complete the story. We might be able to. Let's shoot to complete the story next time. And then start working on all those side quests that we haven't gotten a chance to do yet. So let's go ahead and do it. Once again, if you guys are on my YouTube page, that's Michael V Arcade. Be sure to like and comment, subscribe and share and hit the bell. There's so many things to do on YouTube. And then as far as if you're on my Twitch, which is VAL1987, just give me a follow. That's all I really need right now. I'd love to get more followers. So until next time, guys, let's keep it real. Fight on.